Well, hello. I don't know if it's nerves or what that makes me laugh when we first start. I don't know what that is. It's the weirdest thing. Really, take. Oh, just saw foreshadowing. Do you know what foreshadowing is? Hey, Kendra. Woohoo! Foreshadowing. That's a term you should know if you're a gatekeeper. Foreshadowing. I speak way too fast. I need to slow the heck down. All right. We're celebrating today. Okay, so it's I know it's really bright in here. I got a new I got the lights all set up. We're still working on, a whole video, and at some point we'll do a whole thing on Facebook Lives and like the giggle thing and all this stuff. And so I had the lights all set up, and then I got a new camera, and it clearly lets more light in than the old camera. So I know it looks a little, I look at the screen, it's like a little washed out, and which makes it really hot. And then I have a fan, hey Doug, and then the fan makes just way too much noise because it sounds like we're doing an episode of Twister. Hey Cheryl, nice to see ya. Cool, see you. What's up? So we have a lot to cover today. Let me get the right notes out because I think I have the wrong ones. Oh, that's last week. I'm on the right one. I was prepared. I'm prepared. So, yeah, guess what today is? Woohoo! That's cool. I like how well, you can't see it, but the little emojis, they burst. So I know, right? So bright. See, I'm not going to mess with but it was one of those things where I messed with it a little bit, and then it was like, you know what? It is what it is, and I'm just accepting. And it does. It's better though. I did change it a little bit because it looked like too little. I just had too little. I looked like not E.T., but there's another movie that has like the alien with the eyes that's like a bright face, and all you see are little eyes. Hi, Elaine. So anywho, so today, what's today? What are we celebrating today? It's June 30th. I thought about wearing like a cocktail gown, but then you know how people scroll through Facebook and they don't listen, and it'd be like, what the heck is going on this page? Which, welcome to the Hollywood Gatekeepers page, reminds me, Mr. Douglas, my fearless partner, can you share this into the group? So if you're coming to this page and you're new on the page, make sure you like the page. It's funny because I've realized that people can watch, and look at things and whatever without liking the page. So if you're here and you're getting good info, like the page so that we can build our community. Happy New Year! Woohoo! She nailed it. So yeah, and then if you're not in the Facebook group, and if you're in the Facebook group and you haven't liked the page, you kind of go hand in hand. So we realized in doing these Facebook Lives, we were doing them in the group, and then we realized, oh wait, you can't share out of the group. So yay, happy New Year. Oh, Scruffles is here. Woohoo! So we realized you can't share these from the group, so we're doing them on the page. So like the page, welcome to Hollywood Gatekeepers. We have so many new members. I'll get to that in a moment. Such a spaz. So yeah, so come here. Come here. Say hello. Oh, she covered you. Okay. All right, taking way too much time, but you know what? It's Scruffles, and it's Happy Half New Year Day, Scruffles. Yay! She's like, I'm not into this. Say good. Okay, enough dog. Let's do a whole Scruffle session anyway. So I take a lot of classes about how to do online stuff so I can help you. Doug and I both do. And there's a woman in there just crushing it with online dog training. She's amazing. Anyway. So we're doing these on the Facebook page so that people can share them. So if you know someone that you think might find this, I don't know who'd find this last few minutes interesting, but hopefully we'll get into information that is interesting. So, and we do cover a lot of things that we try to have a lot of fun. And then we also try to do things that, when you are a reader, you're very much often self-employed. You're kind of hustling for a lot of different jobs. You're freelance. So we try to do a lot of things that have to do with that as well, because we feel pretty passionately that that is a big part of what can keep you working as a reader, is being able to manage, life. Hey, Jenny, the actor, she's here. Well, Brendan, what's up? Nice to see you. So this way you can share the page, share the, what we're doing here with people from this page. And we're just growing like crazy. It's really been super fun. So we're growing. So we've added almost 400 people to the mailing list this week, and a bunch of people are joining the group every day. And so we're just having a great time. So definitely, oh, and I want to welcome, howdy, hey, howdy. I want to welcome Mike Hammerton. I don't know if he'll join us here today. I should text him and say, get on here. He's a new member of our team that you'll see him posting in here. And we're super excited to have him joining us. You'll see him in the Facebook group quite a bit. So I'm sure he'll watch it in the replay. If not, he's brand new, like just started like yesterday, I think. So we're still kind of working on the ropes. Probably should have emailed him or like let him know. Poor guy. He's like, wait, he's trying to learn the ropes, but he's been doing great. So when he comes on, like we should just give him a big hidey ho, or hey howdy, as Brendan would say. So yeah, cool. He is awesome, and he's like, wow, he's just been diving in like crazy. It's awesome. So because we're going so fast, we brought him in to help us out. So we're pretty excited. It's pretty cool. So yeah, so there are different levels of Hollywood Gatekeepers. There's the Facebook page and Facebook group, which definitely join the group, where we do these trainings, we do articles, we kind of help guide you. And then we do have a paid course that you can also take. There's a ton of free stuff on the mailing list. You can go that route. If you're already a reader, you can kind of, learn other things, how to keep the job and that kind of stuff. And then in the course, we really dive really deep and teach you how to break down a screenplay and really give you like nuts and bolts, really like total monologuing you on a regular basis to help kind of get things in order. So that's how it works. So today, what's today? Let me see if there's, oh, and make sure, well, no, I can go after this. So today, I'm a little bit scattered. Can you tell? Okay. It's Happy Half New Year. It's June 30th. The year is half over. We should have done it at total detail in the course. We should have done this at midnight, and we would have done it at noon, which sort of midnight. Not midnight, I don't know. But we have the screen readers. So we do these Facebook groups. Hey, Marianne. Well, hello. Nice. Welcome. So we have the Hollywood Gatekeepers things that are free. And then in the screen reader course, we also do weekly Facebook lives where we really dive deep. So that's at noon today, which is why we're here at 11. So happy half New Year. Look, I have a hat. You know what I should have done is like, you can do hats. They won't stay. And then, oh, you know what else I have? So happy half New Year. I didn't have any confetti. Nice to see you. So it is new June. It is happy half New Year. It is the last day. I'm just becoming one of those like QVC crazy women. All right. So it's happy half New Year. It's the last day of June. So, right, it's not, I think so. Now Scruffles is like, it's the last day of June. Tomorrow's the first day of July. Tomorrow is July 1. So this last month we've been doing New June for those of you that haven't been around. If you haven't been around, we've been doing New June the last month, saying, okay, kind of leading up today is sort of being like Happy New Year and kind of the end of the year. Let's make our resolutions, because how many, what resolutions did you make at the beginning of this year? Where are you at with that? So we want to try and get people on track. And there is a method to our madness here. We will be not, we're doing things, like I said, based on the fact that readers are very much freelance. So you work for a lot of different companies often. There are jobs and there are full-time positions that you can get as a reader, but most people juggle in freelance. So we want you to be able to have the skills to do that. So we've been doing things like money management. So if you look back and you scroll down at previous episodes, you'll see we have a money mindset. We have tactics for treasurers, how to manage your money, that kind of things, because we're trying to get your base solid so that then you can, be a really good reader, which is the whole point. Every time I say good reader, that sounds like bad grammar. Is that bad grammar? I think because reader isn't typically a word you use for a person, which is why we coined the term screen readers, because we wanted people to know what we're doing here is we are really trying to raise the bar and create screen readers that approach things in kind of a different way. So that's why we coined that phrase. So we've been doing that all of June for those of you that are new. And so today we're like, Woohoo, let's set some goals. So today we're going to talk a little bit about goal setting. And then next week, we're going to start back into more reader-based topics. So yeah, we don't spend all of our time doing this. So I just want to make sure that everybody's not, oh, what? I just signed up for this group and thought it was going to be about reading. We do a lot of things about reading. And I really highly, highly recommend that you scroll down and watch previous Facebook Lives because we cover a lot of topics. We're in here yammering away every week. And then if you're new, a gooder reader, right? Like a gooder writer. Yeah, that's a story. That's a story where a producer said to me, well, we need a gooder writer. We sure do. We need a gooder writer. Okay. He's a brilliant man, just so you know. But anyway, so yeah. Oh, I missed Jenny's comment. Sorry. The sequel, exactly. The gooder reader, the sequel. So, yeah, so we're going to do some goal setting stuff. I definitely recommend that you go through and you look, at previous topics. There's a lot of things that we cover. And then starting next week, we're going to be doing some time. I want to focus on some time things as well, because it is the new year and we're setting goals. Well, the new half new year, and we're setting goals. See how easily I can just, maybe it's my acting degree, Doug. So maybe I can just pretend like it's January 1st, but it is that thing. I want that same kind of enthusiasm for let's crush it for the rest of the new year, right? Yeah, I know. As a little girl, like the last whole year, I've grown up. She grows up so fast. So I do want to focus on kind of time management and getting things done and that kind of thing, because you're going to set some. Ooh, this has a dual purpose. So my friend says that his dad he'll pick up and say, "This is a microphone. This can only be a microphone." It's a great lesson, right? He's a total artist, and he's like, repurposes everything. So this has turned into and into get your stuff done. See? Okay, anywho. So we are going to do some goal setting stuff today, and basically I'm calling it a resolution reset. So if you had New Year's resolutions, and I said this before, I'm not a big believer in New Year's resolutions in terms of I'm going to set my goal in the new year and my life's going to be amazing. I think you pick a word that sort of helps you deal with life. Hey, Joanne. Yay, screen readers are galore. And my word this year was reset. Every time things kind of get awry, and it's been a whirlwind year so far, and lots going on, as many of you know. So kind of resetting and going, okay, this is happening. Let's move into this, or yoo-hoo, this is happening. Let's move into this. So, and as we grow, as Hollywood Gatekeepers grows so quickly, it's kind of new level, different devil. We have a lot of things that we deal with that we were like, oh, that's a problem we didn't really anticipate. So it's been an interesting journey. So to me, what you set in the new year isn't going to necessarily carry you through your whole year. A year is a long time. So resetting, I think monthly is a good idea. And some people even do it weekly, they set their thing every week. And so that's why we really wanted to kind of go, let's make the rest of the year count. We're going to be in here and stuff is happening, so you'll see in the next few weeks, a lot is going to start happening. And so and then we have a podcast that's coming out very soon. We've been interviewing just amazing guests, and that's coming out. And as soon as we haven't announced the actual date, because we want to make sure that it's all in the can and edited, which has been a whole nother learning curve. So, we want to be flexible with our New Year's resolutions, and we want to be flexible with our goals, but let's redo them. Whatevs, it doesn't have to be so stringent. It can be whatever inspires you to get it done. So I'm going to hand out, you will get a handout that matches this. But if you have a piece of paper, and just in general, you should jot down notes when you come to these sessions. And some of you might be listening, some of you might be cleaning right now. I call that domestic podcasting, totally fine. You can just listen along, and then you'll get the handout, which will cover this as well. But I'm going to have you do 3 things. 3, my lord. Because I have to get that in there. So 3 things, and that's a common thing. You'll see if you scroll down, you'll be like, okay, that joke is super old, but it just never loses its charm. Well, for me anyway, for you it might. So we're going to do 3 things. 3 things. Okay, first one. So you basically have, in general, you have sort of 4 quadrants of your life. You have your kind of spiritual base, whatever that might be. It's different for everyone. And it could be even you're an athlete and that's your spiritual base. You could be religious. You could be, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a certain religion, but we all have sort of a spiritual, kind of bigger than ourselves portion of life. And then you have your physical thing of your, what are you doing physically with your body? What kind of health do you have? Where are you at there? And then you have your social part, how are your relationships, what's going on in your life. And so I'm trying to get you to kind of think about these 4 quadrants a little bit. And then you have kind of your mental state of like, what are you thinking about? What are you working on? What is your they all sort of obviously interchange. Your social thing and what are you working on affects your physical, and they all kind of go together. So I want you to just pick like one thing in each of those quadrants that you feel like you want to sort of focus on. And it doesn't have to be, I want to lose 100 pounds. It could be, if that's what you want it to be. If you go back a couple of weeks, we did SMART goals. So you could pick that one goal that maybe you thought of in the SMART goal, or you can pick a goal now and go back and watch the SMART goal episode, and that will help you accomplish that goal. So just pick one thing in each quadrant. Like, what is something physically that you would like to do? Is it, do you want to start a sport? You want to learn a sport? Do you want to lose some weight? Do you want to start eating more healthy? Do you want to include, drink more water? Which is a really good one. You should definitely do that. What is your, physical thing that you want to do on a spiritual level? Do you want, and it could be things like get out into nature more, or you want to start going to church, or you want to maybe journal, or, is there a spiritual practice that you want to sort of put into practice? To me, having something that's sort of solid in each of these quadrants that you're working on sort of gives you a base to be able to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. And then, so, in terms of mental, like what is something that you're concentrating on that's a goal that you would like to accomplish, sort of do you want to write that screenplay? There's that. Learning the stuff about being a reader, getting started as a reader, what is something, kind of mentally that you want to start working on? And then socially, what is a relationship that, how do you say that? Hi, is it Noe? Noe? That's a cool name. Hola. I love that. So what is sort of something in a relationship that you might want to work on, or we talk a lot about in the course, we talk a lot about how, I don't mean also say in the course we do this, because we do it in both places. So, but we do talk a lot, if you have toxic relationships in your life, are there people that are holding you back? There's a thing called improving your 5, where you kind of, you are sort of the conglomeration of the 5 people you hang out with most, or not necessarily hang out with, but listen to most. So like it could be, you could improve your 5 by starting to listen to someone you might not even know, but they can start influencing how you look at things. And so, finding someone that's doing what you want to do and emulate them, we talk about this in the SMART goals, that can be something that can be maybe on your list of, relationships that you want to try to do, is find a mentor or whatever it might be. So that's one thing. That's the first thing, is pick one thing in each quadrant. So basically physical, mental, spiritual, and social. Those are the 4 areas. Pick one thing in each that you want to focus on. And so that's something that you can kind of, use for your base. The second thing, is to write down 3 new things every day, 3 new things that you're grateful for, or that make you feel gratitude, new things. And the interesting thing about doing this is when you start your morning, just jot them down, text them to yourself, text them to a friend. We'll get to that in a minute, but looking around your life at 3, and it can be really simple things. Well, we'll get into other stuff, I'm super happy that this is fun. Life should be fun, right? Like Happy Half New Year has been a really fun thing. We're having a great time with it. Like what is something, just, it can be very simple stuff, because what happens when you start doing that in the mornings, when you wake up and you look around and you think about your life, or, do it before you go to bed, usually morning or evening is the best time, because we can be more reflective. And you start thinking about what are those 3 things, and then often the same thing will come up more than once. I'm super happy that I'm healthy, like really happy about that. And so that one comes up a lot for me, because I have friends that are struggling. And so it's really, your health is, it's so cliche, right? But it's cliche because it's so true. So, and if you want to share stuff, knock yourself out. I'd love to hear, if anyone has anything that they're comfortable sharing, let us see it in the comments. I'd love to see kind of what are the things that you're choosing. I can see that I'm melting because it's so bright in here. It's so distracting to have you, right? Actors, you don't see yourself when you're acting. So act. This is really distracting. So yeah, share if you care. Share if you want to. What is something, from one of your quadrants maybe, or what is something that you're grateful for? And it can be super woo-woo and kind of like cliche and whatever. But you know what? It works, because what ends up happening when you do that is throughout your day, you start noticing things you're grateful for, or things that you may not have noticed before. It starts to put things on your radar in a really cool way. And I did it very begrudgingly at first, like fine. And I went through kind of 2009. I had a really, really rough year. My mom passed away. My dog died. Like I broke my leg. Like it was a really terrible year. My nephew cut off his finger. My other nephew was mugged. I actually wrote a monologue about it. I was sideswiped twice. Like it was just a bad year. And so I started doing these kinds of things because I started realizing, okay, I cannot drudge through this in this way. So I really begrudgingly started to kind of write down things. And then it made me, and sometimes they were really minuscule, like this coffee's really good right now. But it keeps you in the moment, and it keeps you realizing right now, because really, what else matters? Because think about 5 years, like right now, let's Wayne and Garth it, like 5 years back, and think of something that, like, I think of 2009 and some of those problems that were so intense at that time. Whatever, like, does it matter right now? Like, it informs your life, but thanks, Doug. Thank you for that. You're happy you're not on camera right now. Oh, Brendan. Brendan's so awful. Yeah, right back at you, man. Brendan's awesome. We work together on the haunted house. People know that I also have a haunted house, and he's right in there with me in the trenches, literally. Oh, that's awesome. Right away. Yeah, me too. So that's a really good one, like thinking, and that leads us to number 3. And number 3 is each morning, just send a quick note or a quick call or a quick text to someone that, and tell them that you appreciate them, or that, you know what you said yesterday really meant something, or whatever. Like, you know what, I thought about you today when such and such happened. Because the same thing will happen is you'll start thinking about people that you haven't thought about for a while, and try to do someone different every day. Because a lot of times it'll be the same person often, your closest friend or whatever. So it is like, try to do that. And that was really interesting, because the comes right back at you in such a huge way, because we just don't do that with each other enough. Just like Brendan's little comment, that's going to totally make my day. I'm going to like float on that all day long, Brendan. I really am, seriously. So it is like, it's just cool. Thanks, Bart. Hey, Bart, it's good to see you. Awesome. And Jenny's crushing it. She's a screen reader. So we have the people, if I refer to someone as a screen reader, that means they're in the course. Crushing it, learning. Such a fun group. We're having so much fun in there. So as we are in here too. A little bit different, but yeah, super great. So yeah, just, telling someone, a funny thing that happened, but really, if you tell someone that you appreciate them, you will see such a huge difference in your life. There's a really great book. I'm a huge reader. Sean Aker has a really, really great book. Of course, the title is escaping me right now. It's about being happy, but he also has, you should look him up. He has an amazing TED Talk, and I'll go in and put the links and to his TED Talk, and that's, listening to that, he's really funny. And those were the things that I started with when I was having such trouble. And wow, what a difference. Totally turned me around. So these are just little tidbits of that kind of thing. So if you do those 3 things, where you focus on one thing in each quadrant, where you look for things that you're grateful for, we love you right back at you. And then you tell someone that you appreciate them, you will see a shift. You will. Everyone that I know that does this has the same experience with it. If you commit to it, you'll start to see a shift. And if you start to notice things that you're grateful for, some of those things in your quadrant will be much easier to accomplish, because your base will be solid. And that's, to us, you are just as important as the script you're reading, as the producer you're working for, as the writer, as the movie star, whoever you're working for. You are the base of all of this, in our opinion. So we want you to be really solid. And if you're a screenwriter, all of this like applies absolutely. If you're going to write screenplays, it's such a, you're bearing your soul usually. Even if you're writing about a topic that's not something super personal, it still takes a lot. It takes a lot out of you, and it takes a lot of, just in general, it just takes a lot of energy. And so having this base to where, whatever your things are in your quadrant, I love how this has become my, if you have this base, a lot of the things in your quadrant, you'll be able to focus on those. And, you might even take that quadrant and gear it towards one thing. So, if, you really, whatever that main thing is that you're really focused on, if it's, whether it's a health issue that you want to get better, those 4 things can lead to that. You want to find a relationship with a good, trainer or doctor or whoever it is that you need to help you with that. You want to be able to, do a spiritual practice that will help you relax about it or whatever it is, or help give you faith about it. You can pick one thing in that quadrant and then make all the other quadrants like support that thing. So that's yay! Darren, my stalker, is here. People go like, I'm sorry, what? Huh? So happy half New Year. I'll put the link and the handout in the Facebook group. So definitely, if you're not in there, you need to go in. If you haven't joined it yet, there's a little process. It's not a big deal. We just ask, if you have any questions, it's your chance to ask questions. So we answer those questions. So that's what we're going to get back into doing next week. Well, I think I might do one thing about time, just because time is such a big deal. And so we'll do, probably next week, we'll do something like happy half New Year still. It'll be the first week. And we will be on Saturday next week as well, so that we can have a good firecracker holiday. It's also my son's birthday, which is kind of fun. It's a great birthday to have because everybody's off and you can chill. So yeah, TED Talk, there's a great TED Talk with Sean Aker, and so I'll post that, and I'll post the handout so that you can fill this out. I just did a little handout to remind you, and then you can put those things on your handout and you can slap it on your whatever, your wall, to remind yourself. So thanks for sharing, Elaine. I love that. Yes, it's all good. Avoid negative people. I hear you, sister, right away. What's up with that? And sometimes when negative people come in my life, I'm like, okay, what am I doing? What am I doing to like, why are you wanting to hang with me right about now? So yeah, it is, yes, definitely avoiding the negative people, or seeking out the positive people and improving that 5, and getting people around you, even if you're not with them physically, listening to people that have an attitude that help you, attitude of gratitude. I know it's cheesy. Yeah, Darren. Yeah, luckily there's replay. Play on the replay. So yeah, there we have it. Happy half New Year, and we would love to be your 5, help improve your life, as much as you can, and help give you that base so that then you can be a great reader, which is what we're going to move into in the next coming week. So what we do is when you go into the Facebook group, and also when you join the mailing list, so if you haven't done that, because we've been sending out emails too, absolutely avoid them. Absolutely. Get a dog. There's one, I forget who it is that says, if you're around a negative person, just go pet your dog. It's a really great, get an animal, go to the zoo. So we also get emails. If you join the mailing list, you get emails that have free information as well. And when you join, we ask if you have any questions. So we have literally thousands of questions, and they barrel down to really about 20, 30 questions that are pretty universal. So we'll just start. And if you scroll down in the Facebook Lives, you'll see that sometimes there's some kind of way down there. When I went to London, I'm just walking around answering people's questions, showing them London and answering people's questions. That was really fun, actually. So yeah. And then, whenever I travel, I try to do that. There's one at the Niagara Falls that does that a little bit. So, scroll down, you'll get some of those questions answered if you're new, and then we will re-answer them again. And also we are, yay, we're the 5. You're my 5 too. Yeah, screen readers are definitely right. Definitely in improving our 5. So yeah, so we want to kind of keep doing more of answering questions, because honestly, we are learning as we go as well, in how, we originally thought that we wouldn't have enough content. It's not been a problem. So we, we're learning kind of the things that you need to know, and we're seeing, people are asking things, and people are, as they get further down the path, we're realizing, oh, we need to talk more about this. And one of the things that we're going to talk about in an upcoming, same time next Saturday, yes, sir. We want to talk how to speak Hollywood. That'll be one of our topics because we realized, oh, there's like a real thing about how people talk in LA that's a little bit different. And we're in it, so we didn't really notice it. Now we're kind of seeing that. So we're going to do how to speak Hollywood. I think that's a good one. So time was just announced. Yeah. I think, yeah, right, Doug? She says with confidence. Yeah, I think we're going to do the same time next week so that we can take the holiday off. Cool. All right, guys, so we will see you, same bat channel, next week. We try to do these typically they're Wednesdays at 2, right? Yeah, typically they're Wednesdays at 2, and then the first Saturday of the month. So on the first week of the month, they're on Saturdays just to get those people that can't do a weekday, and then in general they're Wednesdays at 2, and we picked that time based on you. We polled people, and that was the time. So, but you know what? Your questions are good for all. So I will see you next week. Spanish. I'm taking French. Au revoir. Was that awesome? I was about to say mon ami, but that's just one friend. Mes amis. There we go, I think. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Happy New Year! Woo! Woo! Oh, it broke. Oh well. Woohoo! Yay! Happy New Year! La 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 la.